Our landlady will come in at any time she wants. In fact, it's more like we were sharing the house with her. Hi loves, I'm Anita. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, do well to subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, thanks for always sticking around. I actually said welcome back. I don't know in this situation if you guys are the ones to tell me welcome, because I don't know. I have not been consistent here, guys. I've been trying my best, but a lot is really going on. Someday we'll talk about that. In case you hear any noise like movement, guys, I live very close to a train station, so occasionally the train would move and the noise and all of that. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys how you can find an accommodation, because so many questions have been popping up. Please, how did you get this accommodation? How much are you paying here? That was after my last video, the last video I posted. So I'm going to tell you guys about it. More so, the last video I posted, it stirred a lot of comments. So many people were getting emotional, but the truth is I'll try to explain more. While if you're asking for the video, that was the video I talked about coming with your dependents immediately, because so many people have been asking that questions. Should we come with our dependents? I've gotten this offer. Can I come with my family immediately? So I said what I said in that video, and I think some people didn't find it very much okay, but I'll explain what I meant in the video. So I would say, what is the major thing in this video? It was you making proper plans, proper accommodation plans, so that when you come, you don't get stranded with your family. I would tell you guys a story. You know, when you talk about the hassles that comes with finding accommodation, or even where you're living, you're having issues with it. So the house I was living in, I was there with my colleagues because we came in. So while we were in the house, in fact, we faced a lot of things in that house. Our landlady will come in at any time she wants. She would do, in fact, it's more like we were sharing the house with her. It was a house share, yes. And guys, I was paying £400. That was the only reason I think I was tolerating everything, because it's quite cheap. At least you get to save more. So while in the house, could you believe that I would be coming back from work all stressed, and maybe I had this 1 hour 30 minutes break or 2 hours break, and I'm like, let me just rush in and eat and then rest my head before going for my next appointment. And then this woman, boom, you will see her in the house, and she talks a lot. She will keep talking to you even when you don't want to answer her. She will keep asking you questions. And I was just being calm about everything. I talked to my sister. My sister said, just start looking for an accommodation, another accommodation. So the woman said, in fact, towards the tail end of the whole thing, the woman said that the contract has ended, that it was a 3-month contract. But then that was not what she told me. She told me she was going to renew our contract after 3 months. If you live in this country and you're paying a rent of £400, you would be grateful. But then if you're paying that rent and fire is on your head, I don't know, because the country alone and the job alone that I am doing is very stressful for me to still face issues in the house. So I was beginning to have a rethink about the whole thing, even before she now said that our contract has ended. In fact, this lady this lady would come into the house, use the microwave, use the oven, like the cooker. She would use it, do anything. And you know, in as much as our bills were all inclusive in the rent, it still doesn't give her any right to come and use our microwave, because at the end of it all, we are the ones paying the bills. Our bills is inclusive in the rent. But that's not even the issue. She would come, do anything she wants, and I was just tired. Then another one that I couldn't just deal with was, we had a guy who is from somewhere in, but not in the UK. The guy is from some other place. It's a European country. So this guy was living with us. So it's a house share of 4. So this guy was living with us. What the guy does is, if there is anything that we do, I think he would snitch on us. I wasn't interested. We do talk about it with my colleagues. We'll just talk about it. We'll be like, we think this guy is snitching on us, but what's my business? So I kept telling my colleague that the major thing was, he would call the woman and tell her that the food we cook smells badly. This is not the first time I'm hearing this story, actually, because my sister told me the same thing, that when she came into the UK, that the first house she lived in, that a guy who was, I guess, I don't know where the guy is from, but obviously he's not African, said the same thing, that their food smells badly. That when they are cooking, blah blah blah. So it was not new to me. So when he said it, I told my colleagues the same story, my sister's story, and we laughed about it. I was like, we're from different tribes, we're from different races, and you stay in a shared accommodation, for crying out loud. So you should be able to accommodate every other person's differences or whatever. So you saying that someone's food, although I wasn't telling him, I was just telling my colleagues, and the guy was already pissing me off. So this guy, funny thing is that we relate well. He talks to me. He is always talking to me. So if there is any problem between him and my colleagues, he would always tell me, or he's always reporting to me, rather. So at a point, the whole thing, I told him on one occasion, he would come to report my colleague to me. This is what they did. I would be like, please, if there's anything they do to you, just approach them and tell them this is what they did, and please, they should stop doing it, and not you telling me what do you want me to do. So after that one, the guy was already pissing me off, because sometimes things will happen in the house, and there was a case of heating. It was getting cold, really cold. That it was not really winter then, but it was really getting cold. And we just came in. We are still trying to adapt. So we're really cold, and my colleague went to turn on the heater. So from the general whatever, I don't know who told this woman that we turned on the heater. So this woman came, was shouting like a mad woman in the house. If you see the way she was shouting that day, that story aside. But then I just said, oh, we are paying bills now, so should we get cold? She said, it's not cold yet. It's not cold yet. That we should stop turning on the heater. We should not. That one passed. I just moved on. So the guy, on one occasion, so another thing that he was doing then that was really irritating me, it was disgusting, was him telling me to keep down my voice when I'm talking. Guys, I am not, I would repeat, I am not this loud person. But I know that whenever I'm talking to my sisters, whenever we're having a group call, the group WhatsApp call, video call, my voice can be a bit high, because I am happy. When you're talking with your family, you guys are catching up with gist and all of that. So you want me, when I'm talking with my family or my mom, I'll keep it down. And so I would say, and I don't even know how many friends that I have that I always talk to. So this guy now told me, what did he even say? That, okay, he's always telling me to keep it low, And this guy, there are things that he will do in the house and I will just overlook it. One of which is messing up the bathroom. That was part of the reason why I wanted an ensuite house where I will have my bathroom to myself. This guy will mess up the bathroom, and I will just, before I want to use it, I will have to wash it before I will use it. So you can imagine, and I've never gone to ask him. And this guy, he smells of garlic. He smells of garlic and what's it called? Ginger. I can deal with ginger, but you see, garlic, it was not my thing. This guy smells of garlic. And when people use the bathroom, people who use garlic very well, You know, when they use the bathroom, how it is, or the toilet, you can imagine. I was dealing with this whole thing. So at a point, I was really fed up. And I'm like, any day this guy is going to tell me to keep my voice down, that I've been keeping quiet, that I'm going to confront him. And it's not even funny anymore. One day, I was talking with my friend who is a colleague as well. So we're just gisting, not like I was loud. I was complaining about things and I was really very angry. So we're just talking. All of a sudden, for me to get up to the stairs, the guy said he was coming from the bathroom. He said, keep it down, keep it down. He did shh, shh, shh. I was like, excuse you? There and then, I just told him, excuse me, let today be the very first and the last day. In fact, it should be the last because he has been doing it. I was like, let today be the last day you would ever tell me to keep my voice down. It's not night. It's not like, because we have a rule there in the, I think the community or whatever had a rule, because our landlady told us about it, that once it's 11 o'clock, you keep all noise down. You keep all volumes down. It's not like you'll be playing a music and it will be loud. So you'd have to consider people once it's 11 o'clock. So I was like, this was happening around 9. What he told me was that he was on night duty, that he wants to rest. That this, I said, I don't care. I don't care if you're a night. Okay, this guy, he turns on his television sometimes, and his room is close to mine. So most times when I'm not even in the mood, I'm very tired coming back from work, his television is loud and it's really disturbing me, and I've never knocked on his door to tell him to turn it down or anything, because this is a house share, for crying out loud. You should mind your business. After that day, I told him, learn to mind your business. You don't pay my rent for me. You don't even contribute to anything. So why are you stressing me? Why are you always in my business? And this guy was always in my business. Do you know that sometimes I would be in the kitchen and I would turn on the lights. At a point when it was not summer, when summer was over, it was getting really dark. So sometimes it would be around evening, not really night, and it would be dark. So I would need to turn on the lights. So I'll turn on the lights. You know, I'll be in the kitchen. This guy would come and turn off the lights. He's conserving energy. I understand that he has to conserve energy, but at least courtesy demands that, hey, are you using this? At least ask me questions. Not just coming down and turning off the lights that you didn't turn on. So why are you turning it off? So I was just tired. So guys, let me just cut this story short. How, you see, somebody was asking me, I made a statement the last time, the last video I posted, and one guy commented, a lady or a guy was like, what tag does Africans have? Because I said Africans already have this tag. Let me now say it in this video, that when we got in, I don't know if it's a common thing here in the UK, but when we got to the house, this woman, at every single argument, she doesn't hesitate to remind us that she hates Nigerians, she doesn't like Africans, that they always have problems, that she was being skeptical about this. She will not start telling her husband. She'll call the husband's name. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you that I was skeptical about this whole thing, that I didn't want to? Gosh. Like, that we are always known for not being straightforward. That was the word she used. Guys, I was tired in that house. My work was stressful and I was getting stressed in the house that I was living in. House that you don't, if you don't know, in this UK, to me, paying house rent is just like finding somewhere to keep your properties, because you can count how many hours you spend in your house. The whole of, you're always working, except if you do the remote jobs, like you work from home, or aside that, my dear, you can count how many times you stay in that house. And it makes it more depressing. You stay in a house, you're not using your rents. You know, when you're using with your full chest, I'm using my rent, you're not using your rent, you just pay rent. It's just your properties being in the house. So guys, what am I saying? To cut this long story short, imagine if you're staying in that kind of house. Of course you would want to move. You would want to move because you would lose your sanity. That is it. The whole stress was coming from all angles. So you would definitely lose your sanity. So accommodation, okay, houses are here. I am not saying that houses are not here. Houses are here that is put up for rent. But the thing is, do you like the house? Do you have nice flat mates? Is it somewhere you can live or even live with your family? There are some flats. What I'm saying, this house share, there are some flats they share as well. So you can be living in your own one bed or two bed flat, and you will have very nasty flatmates. This is a place you wouldn't even want to bring in your children, because the next thing they might start saying that your children used to dance Awi Lolo Komba on their head. They used to dance, which other song, Seth? They used to dance on their head. So the thing is, the stress that comes with this accommodation thing and finding a place you would find peace, it's really terrible. So it's not something you just rush into. I was able to stay there for 3 months. That's because I don't think, and though the house doesn't allow you to bring in your what's it called, bring in couple or your child or anything, but then imagine if the house allows that. I don't even see myself bringing in my family into a house like that, where you're living in war. Every time someone has something to say to your face. So I think everybody should, I believe, if you're living in a place, if it's not friendship, then everybody should mind their business. That is it. Come back to your face your own flat. If it's not friendship, face your own flat. You don't have any business. You don't pay the person's rent. That is what I believe in. This whole story and everything, I just needed to leave. Then I started looking for another accommodation. The woman said our contract has ended, this, that. She needs to us to leave the house, and I told her I can't leave the house because I've not gotten an accommodation. And the contract, you said that it's 3 months. What you told me was you were going to renew mine, so I wasn't making plans of getting an accommodation, and you don't have any rights. You need to at least give me a notice of 4 weeks. So you can't just tell me to leave your house next week and you expect me to pack my things. Pack it to where? So at the end, I didn't want troubles. I just told her that I could pay 2 weeks extra rent. Then I would look up for somewhere. So I found this house within 2 weeks. So this particular room, I pay 610 pounds, but I made a deposit of 300 pounds. Yes. So that is the total of 910 pounds. So that is it. Not like I'm enjoying it, because the gap from where I was living before, where I was paying 400 pounds, you know, the gap is much. That's about 210 extra. So it's not like I'm enjoying that I'm paying such amount, but at least you have your peace of mind. When you come back here, it's an ensuite, yeah. So when you come back here, you can use your bathroom, keep it the way you want it, and your room is your room. And really, I have nice flatmates, not like the terrible flatmates that I had before. I have nice flatmates in here. Not like you guys are here to come and start gisting or anything, but at least they know, everybody know their boundaries and they're friendly. So that's what matters, living in a peaceful accommodation. So what am I saying? So that I will not bore you guys with my long accommodation story. The apps where you can find houses that would help you, I would say I used 2 apps. I was using 2 apps rather. It was Spare Room and Right Move. Yes, but I know of Zopla Property, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I will leave the links to all this down my description so that you could, if it would be of need to you, because so many people are already asking me, how do I get this accommodation? I'm coming to the UK next week, I'm coming this one, I'm coming next month, but I've not gotten an accommodation. But my company said they would harbor me for a while and I would look for. So how did you get it? So these apps, like I mentioned, Spare Room, it's more like you get in there, you would see is it for rent or is it for sale. So you go for rent because you're renting, except if you have money to buy. So when you're renting, you just go there, you would make your choices. If it's a 1 bed, if it's a 2 bed, if it's a 3 bed, you would find the category of whatever you're looking for. There are places where you need to impute it. This is what you want, less of this or more of this. Studio apartment, if that's all you want. If you want an ensuite, you would just put in whatever you want, then search. So when you're searching, you even put in the area you want this house. So when you're searching, you will see houses. You would see the ones that their landlords are living, and you will see the ones that they don't live in the house. So living landlords, basically what they do is they are living in the house. When you're leaving, they know you're leaving. When you're coming in, they know you're coming in. When you're bringing in anything, they know you're bringing in something. So you make your choices properly. Then right move, yeah, I don't know if it's spare room that I talked about before, but they are they work in same way. So you can just make your choices, find your house. Zoopla property, I've not really used it, just like I mentioned, but these are just apps or sites where you can find an accommodation here. Then also when looking for an accommodation, back to what I'm saying about the hassles, and there is a lot. There is just a lot. Finding an accommodation you like, that is one. So when you're looking for an accommodation, of course, you have to check the nearness to, if you're walking, if you're not driving, you need to find the one near to a bus stop, so that you don't have to do 20 minutes trekking in the morning to catch a bus, or 25 minutes trekking. This one I live in is 3 minutes trekking to the bus stop. It's just a 3 minutes walk. That's what Google will tell you, but I think I just walk for about 5 minutes. So it's very close to even the train station, and it's very close to the bus stop where I can pick all numbers of buses. So I'm enjoying the site where the house is situated. So you have to put into consideration so many things. Know where you're walking, how close it is to where you're walking, how many buses you need to pick on board, and all these things. It takes time. You can't just, sometimes you might be lucky, you just get in and you see what you want, but most times you just keep searching before you can get what you want. Then the problem is, after you've seen what you want, the next thing is you need to go and view the house, because sometimes the pictures, the angles, how they snap these rooms, so you might see it looking very big and you say, oh wow, the house is very big. But when you come for the viewing, in fact, some houses, I think you even pay to book a viewing time or dates. I think so. But let me not get into that, because I really don't know about that. But I think I've had something like that. You pay to view. So the day you will come for viewing, you would see some things, and at the end of it, you might not really like it. And you'll be like, oh, the search continues. And by the time, okay, even when you do the viewing and, okay, you like this house, what next? You start signing things. So basically what they request for a guarantor, sometimes the guarantor would have to have a particular amount of money in his or her account, or the person needs to be earning such amounts yearly or monthly or so. I don't know how they do it, but there are things like that before the person can pass as your guarantor. So after they go guarantor thing, your guarantor, I think this stage is called referencing checks or something, passing the referencing checks. So you also, if you're working, you have to get a reference from your employer that stating that the person is a permanent employer, doing how many hours, I don't know, being paid a certain amount, I don't know, but you have to get a reference from your employer. If you've lived somewhere else, you have to get a reference from where you've lived before. Of course, I got a reference from my landlady. So, my former landlady though. So, all this whole referencing thing, and it takes time. It's not something that they do under one day. In fact, it's you that will even be sending them meals. Please, the last time I submitted the documents that you requested for, I don't know at what stage I am in now. When can I move in? You know, that kind of thing. So at a point, I was the one, because I didn't want to stay more than the 2 weeks I paid for in that. In fact, I moved out of my former house on the 14th. That was the second week, the 2 weeks that I paid for. I didn't want to pay more. I just wanted to leave that house. So I moved into this house on the 14th. Yeah. Although I submitted the key to my former landlady because she wasn't there the next day for her to check the room and all of that. So that's the thing. So when the whole referencing checks and all of that, when you have passed it, another stage is waiting to hear from the landlord. Because remember, these people most times is the agents you're dealing with. So they will tell you that they are waiting for a go-ahead order from the landlord. And this one, it's not like it takes one day for it to happen. So by the time you wait and wait, so imagine if you brought in your family immediately you were coming. You keep paying for Airbnb now. The way, in fact, you keep making unnecessary budgets and all of that. And bear it in mind that when you come here, even if you're coming straight with your family, your husband can't work at the same time that you work when you have kids. People don't know this. If you're telling them, it's more like you're an enemy of progress. But your husband can't, because your kids, so long as they are not up to, even if you have one that is up to 18, so long as you have a child as well, you can't leave that one. I don't even know if this thing I'm saying makes sense. So long as you have a child in the house, if you like, have adults, you must take care of your child. So you can't just leave them and be going to work. If nobody will snitch, your neighbors might snitch on you. That is how this country works. And this country, there is nothing like emotion. Nobody is doing you emotion. Nobody is saying, okay, hey, this woman is suffering, oh, and she's locking up her children to go and work and suffer and bring money. Nobody is, everything is law. Is it legal? Are you doing the right thing, like the legal thing? It's not like if somebody is asking you, they just came, things are still hard on them. Let them work small and get money so that they can pay for child minders, people that will take care of their child. If you don't have money for nursery, if you don't have money to pay for your child to be taken care of, you and your husband will share how to stay in the house. This one, I'm talking out of something I've witnessed. So you have to take care of your child. You and your husband will split, finding is either he gets a job that he would have to work only at night, then you do the morning shifts. Another thing is, to get that job, you people might just be struggling, and it's not just good, because you're just coming into this country. Hey, the more you're staying in this country, the more you tend to understand a lot. In fact, particularly this winter, I have just been depressed. A lot of times, people should not take it seriously, but the truth is, I think generally, winter is depressing. It gets dark. I work under the cold. I have to work. Of course, now you have to work. If you don't work, where will you see money? You can't even stay out of job in this country for a long time, because your bills will just be waiting to hang you and choke you to death. That is just how the country works. So you need to keep working. So that's just it. I've been depressed for a number of times. It's not something serious, guys, but I've been trying to manage and cope so that to have my sanity. That is it. So every day in this country, you learn. Every day you see that it's not like the way you've imagined this thing to be, the way you've pictured it, because normally we Nigerians, it's not just you people alone. Me, when I was coming here, I already pictured a life. I said I will buy this one, buy land, invest, do this one, do that one. It happens. We have dreams. It's good for us to have dreams. Like, I know everybody, when you're coming, you say, oh, you will build this property, become a landlady in Nigeria, become this, become that. But when you come here, you will see that it's not about you see that strength that you're using to come in. Like, you will walk, you will walk the way you make money, my dear. By the time you stay here, 1 month, 2 months, your body go here. It's not booking extra shifts. You book, your body will hear it. I don't need to say much. So I just hope that this, my long story, has really convinced some of you that is having a double mind or having second thoughts, bringing in your family, doing this. You just have to plan everything the right way. You just have to plan it the right way. Because if you come in here, I will keep saying it, if you come in here, even people that made plans, they came in here and their plans, it was crushed. So talk more of where you did not make plans, or you were just making shallow plans without being informed. You were not informed. That's just it. You just need to be informed before and make proper plans before coming in here. I wish you guys luck. Those that are still coming, those that are still making decisions to come, I wish you guys luck. Check the description. You can start looking up for houses. If you have relatives here, they could help as well. Just make proper plans. So guys, we've come to the end of this video, and I hope this video was helpful to anyone who needs help, and I hope this video was quite educative to anyone who is still planning to start up this journey to come into the UK with or without your family. So guys, see you in my next video. But before then, please like this video, comment, subscribe to my channel, please.